What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. Today, you're going to be hanging out with me. I am Nick James, and as always, I'm hanging out with
Big Body Biggz, the can of pimp.
And thank you for coming back and hanging out for another episode. It's our highlight of the week. Hopefully, it makes a little bit of impact on yours. Just trying to talk and make people happy, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're new to the show, welcome. Thanks so much for checking us out. What our name is exactly what you have in store for today. Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. We have some fun weed topics to talk about. If you were coming back for some more fascinating marijuana facts, that's going to be next week. We have some quote-unquote original material to talk about today. And then from there, we're going to be bros, talk about each other, see what we did this week. And then finally, we're going to talk about some superheroes in the form of Justice League. That's right, the new 52 Justice League Origin got itself an animated version of itself. What a weird sentence, but that's exactly what it did in the name of Justice League War. That's what we watched. That's what we're talking about today. Strap in, because it's going to be fun. Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. But right now, let's talk about some buds, right? That's what we do.
Let's do it.
So one of the things I think I teased maybe in an earlier episode, I don't know. But being legal like a beagle with this medical marijuana card, you don't have to look for somebody to buy from. You just type in Google, you put in your hometown, and then you put in cannabis dispensary, and then you know where to go and buy weed, right?
Right.
Super duper easy. Before these times, though, how would one go about? Like, how did you go about finding a new plug?
Well, it started back like when... Before I even smoked weed, I already knew my uncles and aunts were selling weed and cocaine and all that shit. So branching off from them and also growing up in the city, you know who's who. You got friends that go to college and are square, and props to them because they're doing really well. Then you got friends that are kind of like me, just street type of cats where you just know who's who and you know where to go. And, just like the street we were coming down the other day when I said, bro, don't walk down this street, man. You know what I mean?
And for those listening, that's a street that I've walked down almost every single day since I've lived here. And he tells me months later, yo, you don't want to be walking down the street. And I was like, bro, I walk down the street every day.
I mean, to the untrained eye, it don't look like anything, But back to what we're talking about. My aunts and their boyfriend sold everything under the sun, so it was easy for me to not only get it, but sell it for them. I was a little kid. I didn't know what I was doing. But once I started smoking, my first day I ever went to go buy weed, I went into these projects, and I saw this guy look fucked up. Looked like a crackhead, like the crackhead you see on TV, okay? I said, look, man, I got $20. If you give me a dime bag, I'll give you $10. And he was like, oh, great. All right, cool. Went and got me a bag of weed. Came right back with it. Gave him the $10. Went home, smoked. And from there, I called my little brother. And he hooked me up for about 2 weeks after that. Then the person at work told me they get weed all the time from Philly when they go home, and they bring some back for their head. So that it's like a spider web effect. It just keeps going, How about you? What was your first couple of findings?
I could say the first real guy was through a bandmate, but by then I had been smoking for a while. Unfortunately, I was that guy who turned my friends into dealers for me, because I don't know, like the first time that I ever really was consistently buying weed was through a friend. I said, yo, are you going anytime soon? Would you mind also picking me something up? And he'd say no. And eventually I'd be like, yo, do you just want to introduce me to your guy and you could stop being the middle guy? And he's like, no, he doesn't want to meet new people. So what was I to do? Okay. So like for the first time like that was, but I felt bad every time because there was sometimes, no, I'm not going. And it's like, well, will you go for me? Because I need that. And like, he was a good friend. So he'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll go.
My longest friend, he smokes as much as me and you. But we do not deal with each other on a weed thing. It's so weird. Like I don't mind ever helping him out, but he just you don't even want to ask them to help you out, because for some reason there's that invisible wall there. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think he just doesn't want to be involved in the everyday, every couple of day. Hey, you got an eighth. Hey, you got a quarter. Blah blah blah. Which cool. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? I'll figure it out. Have figured it out for 25 years. So, but
I would definitely say there's a difference. I wouldn't. I don't know. Did you mean square when you said it before as a negative connotation? People go to college to get square, or is that meaning a different thing that I don't know?
no, square. Okay, square is okay. No disrespect, but a square would be you outside of the weed, or like versus like me, and I'm going by like your whole past from teenager up versus me. Like people on the street call you guys square because you do the right things. You're square. Like everything's square. You know what I mean?
So like the Sandlot, it is an L7 weenie.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that it still meant the same thing that I was understanding it.
Yeah, it's nothing bad. It's not. I'm trying to be.
I'm
trying to be as square as we speak, man. And it's really hard. Like it's really hard when all you've ever done was shit on the streets. You know what I mean? Or you work. Like I worked for the last 20 years or blah blah blah, but I still was always doing some kind of dirt. You know, and because that was the first thing I learned how to do. I was selling my breakfast tickets at school in second grade, like going down the Globe store, stealing Matchbox cars to sell at school. Like I was doing hustle type shit since I was a little kid because I never was handed nothing. So, boom. And as back to what we're talking about, like as you get older, even doing little stuff like that on the street, it's a different thing. It's the same but different. You know what I mean? The hustle is exactly the same. Like there's no difference. You're just trying to come up, trying to get ahead, trying to find new outlets, new plugs. That's what we call them on the street, plugs. The person you're buying your stuff from, you know.
Yeah, no, I used to like ask my neighbors and their neighbors if I could cut their yard for money. Does that count as a hustle?
Yeah.
All right. So like that's as hardcore as I ever went, and I was usually too lazy to do it every summer.
So let me just say, like, when we talk about hustling, it doesn't mean you're just a drug dealer or a pimp or a gangster and you're holding shit up and sticking people up, a stick-up kid and all that. It doesn't. You can hustle trash bags. You can hustle shit, cups, cans of sodas. You can sell oranges on the street. You know what I mean? That's one thing I could say about myself is like, no, I never went to college and all that, but I do have real hustle about me. And those that know me from the past, most people from the past either made money with me or made money off of me. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just depends. Like the one day about 3 years ago, I'm coming down the street. I get to 10th Street, which is a block past Luzerne, and I'm at a stop sign. This guy's on the porch, a black guy, he's on the porch, posted up. And I look at him. I give him the head nod, like, what's up? As I'm looking to the left. He just gave me another head nod. So I went around the block, and I was like, and he came over, got in the car, literally got in the car. I was like, yo, you got bud? You got some smoke? He's like, yeah, I got fire. And he had fire for like a whole week. I fucked with this dude. And then he was like, yo, I'm moving back to New York. Me and my baby's mom ain't getting along, blah, blah, blah. But just like that, just sometimes like game recognizes game and you find the plug.
So that would never happen to me. Kind of coming back, like I did not grow up with anything you just said. Like cutting lawns was just about it. So when my friend didn't get it from me, like I was in a band at the time, and we used to smoke before, and then their guy didn't have the same I don't want to meet people. And then that guy was my plug for quite some time, but then something happened and he just stopped picking up the phone. So I was back to square one.
One time I met these guys were in a car at Burger King, and I could smell the weed coming from the car. So I hit him up, yo, what's up? Me and this kid ended up being like real cool for 2 years. Never any problems. Went fishing together and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And it was cool. So it's cool. I mean, who else did I meet on the fly? Oh, I was telling you, the girl from when I lived in Nanacoke. Nanacoke, PA, what's up? But the girl from Nanacoke, first morning I moved there and woke up there. Come down the alley to go to the store. This girl's walking up the street. She looks high. She's a young girl. And I said, you know where I can get any bud around here? I just moved here. And she's like, yeah. She got in the car, took her to Unimart. I come out of Unimart, and she's got a bag full of bud, man. Nothing but 20s in her purse, like half filled up. So she lived a block away, so I had that plug, you know.
Anything ever backfire on you? Because I moved out here to the Pennsylvania to go to school, and I figured, fuck, it's college, man. I walked around with my nose in the air for an entire week walking around that campus and nothing. So I finally got the balls to ask somebody, and it was the wrong person to ask. And now, after I went there for a while, and looking back, I was like, Jesus Christ, if there's 100 kids in our program, and I listed from 100 to 1 who'd I'd ask to buy weed from, the person I ended up asking, not knowing anybody, was the person in the last spot. And I was like, oh, man. And not that anything happened from it, but, like, they were just, you think I'm square, motherfucker. I ain't as square as some of the people get around here.
Bro, I don't think you're square. You're not square because you're not all the way square.
Okay.
So you can't
Can I be
square.
rectangular?
No.
Okay.
No. But, yeah, so
maybe not perfect 90-degree angles. Maybe like a 91. Like a Steve Jobs next type of thing?
No. Either you're square or you're not.
Square. The more that I try to be unsquare is the squarer I get, right?
I mean, you're overall, you're on the square block. Let's just say that. You're like hanging in the alley on that block.
So I totally feel that. Finding people has kind of been hard. Yeah, I really fucked up at college. Shouldn't have asked that one guy. But again, nothing bad came from it. It just ended up being funny in retrospect to be like, damn, motherfucker, out of 100 people you could ask, you literally ended up asking the one person who's going to be the biggest wiener about it.
Okay, this is going to sound like I'm lying, right? But it's the truth. The only ever problem or bad thing I had happen was my brother gave me some CBD bud that looked like real true fire, a zip of it. To those that don't know what a zip is, that's an ounce, 28 grams. He gave me a zip of CBD, told me it was real. I resold it, and they weren't happy at all. They were pissed off, you know what I mean? The only other time I had something bad happen in all these years, to be dead honest with you, was when I went to Jamaica, and it wasn't even for weed, it was ecstasy. I bought the best ecstasy in the world down there. My boy saw me all twisted, feeling good, having fun, and he wanted some, so I went out the club and got burnt. It's the only time I ever had something bad go down. Knock, knock on wood.
Knock on wood. But yeah. Any other good weed kind of dealer stories, you know, meeting new people or anything fucked up funny happen, or you ever meet somebody and at the end of it you're like, well, that was a little strange?
This Jamaican guy used to ride by my house every day. He had dreads, light skin, but he had like really nice dreads. And he'd ride by, and I'd just be on my porch. It's summertime or whatever. And I think I was telling you, like, to make a longer story short, he rode past my house and turned around and was like, "Hey man, every time I ride by, you smell good. Your house smell good. I smell the herb, right?" And I know I have a bad Jamaican accent.
I was just about to say the opposite.
And I said, "Yeah, man, you know, I smoke once in a while." And I was like, "What's your name?" He was like, "They call me Yellow." Long story short, I go to his house. He's getting bud sent to him from Jamaica left and right. And turns out, like I said, he played on the 2000 Jamaican Olympic team. Like, got pictures with the team, like, shows him playing against other, like, countries and everything. Like, this dude's soccer, sorry. This dude was phenomenal. But he just got a girl pregnant and just the whole, you know what I mean? Like, people have fucked up stories in life, you know? So, but he was just, it was weird how I met him and became real cool with him too. Like, everybody I met, I usually just became real cool with them, you know? Never no issues or nothing like that, you know?
Well, never not issues, but mine is kind of the opposite of that. I did have one guy once who, like, I just wanted to go in there. It was almost, have you seen Pineapple Express? No.
Mm-mm.
So not only out there, if you're listening and you're a weed guy, yes, that's a strain, but it's also a movie. And Seth Rogen buys from James Franco. And in the beginning of the movie, he's calling into talk radio, so he kind of sets up the relationship of, like, are weed dealers your friends? You know, they're not really your friends, but you got to act friendly, so they always pick up, blah, blah, blah. And then we go to meet him later, and James Franco's a talker. And, he's got, oh, I've got this cross joint, you want to stay here? And, Seth Rogen's trying to kind of boogie on out. So I have had a guy like that before. It's just like, yo, can I come through? And it's like, nah, man, I'm kind of busy today. You want to come hang out tomorrow? It's like, no, I don't want to come hang out. I'm not trying to even hang out right now. I would like to give you money, and I would like you to give me weed, and then I'll fucking leave. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. But he didn't really, I didn't ever want to say those exact words.
Well, I have one friend, Chuck. I know, Chuck, I'm going to make sure you listen to this podcast, Chuck. Yeah, I'm talking about you. We call him Chuck Norris anyway. Those who know Chuck Norris know Chuck Norris. Big up, Chuck. But, Chuck, you know yourself, when people come to get a little bit of help from you, you don't let them leave. You don't let people leave. Let people get in their car and go. Let them cop and bounce with the whole ounce. Not 4 hours later. Chuck, let us leave. Let us loose. Let us go.
Why do you call him Chuck Norris?
Because his first name's Chuck.
Oh, okay. Does he have a beard? Does he wear,
he has none of that.
Nothing?
It's just
no
a nickname because it's Chuck. He don't know kung fu, karate, none of that. But he's a cool dude. He just loves company. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just messing with you, but let us leave.
Yeah, and that's the same way, I'm not trying to talk about you specifically, Chuck. Hello. But that's how my friend was too, where it's just sometimes it's like, all right, I gave you your 20 minutes. That's usually what I schedule in. Like, all right, bro, I'm going to schedule 20 minutes in for your ass. And like, I got to bounce, dude. And usually too, he lived close to my barber. So I just kind of schedule it into that, like, all right, it's going to take me 90 minutes to go get my hair cut because 20 minutes of that has to go to my Chuck, if you will. I don't.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's again, quote unquote, the worst that's ever happened.
Chuck, you came to my house one time, Chuck, and I thought you were going to leave maybe that night because you came that morning. You didn't leave that night. You didn't leave the next day. I'm going to be dead honest with you, Chuck. Me and my girl, we had to walk to Geisinger Hospital to act like we had an emergency going on so you would leave our house. Just keeping it real with you, Chuck.
Keeping it real.
Chuck, you got to leave people's houses, bro. Don't ruin your welcome, champ. Okay, enough about Chuck, my boy.
So I was talking about, my Chuck and sometimes having to schedule it into a haircut. I gotta release on something. I gotta head on over to the Burrows, and we need to talk about the barber. So I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just telling the people why I chose to go here, because you told me to. This is where your boy gets his haircut, and you said, this guy's cool, and go there. I had gone down the street before, so I used to go all the time. When I first moved to Pennsylvania, like, let me even start back at the beginning, Jack, sorry, because getting haircuts to me means a lot. And I know that sounds weird, but I do nothing to take care of myself or my image. I'm not really huge on, like I will wear the same raggedy ass clothes until they fall off me. Now I have a wife who's kind enough, like, she doesn't let that happen, or my mom didn't let that happen, but like, brands mean nothing. Looking good for people means nothing to me. But to me, a good haircut after a long time is nice, So
Right.
I might go a little too long, but getting a nice cut means something to me.
Okay, can I just, not to cut you off, but I wanted to the people out there, right? I sent Slick. I call him Slick Nick. To those that don't understand, I had him go to this barber because my white friend goes to this barber. Also, my kids go to this barber. So I'm thinking he's, he could do white people's hair and black people's hair, and he's all good, Spanish, whatever. And you're not really happy with him.
Before I go back into my delve, something that, I want to talk about that you said is maybe he's good at cutting
black people's hair and not white people, like where we lived up in Carbondale. This one barbershop the only barbershop up there, they just were terrible with cutting black people's hair, And here's the messed up part. Even the black barber in there who shaved me was terrible. Terrible. They got rid of him. And, but they don't know how to cut black people's hair as far as the shape ups and the fades. This guy does. I'm not saying he's the best because I know a couple barbers, black barbers, that are a little better. But I think for my child, he was the best. Like as far as making him comfortable, you know what I mean. And I did see Harley's cuts, so I thought he was all right. You know, for you, you know. But you can tell your experience.
When I was 14, I found a barber who I stayed with until I moved here. So for over a decade, shout out, I don't know, should I say his name? Why not, right? He's just a guy.
Why not?
Jimmy Fideli, you're my boy, dude. I met you when I was 14 years old. You cut my hair until I moved here. Over a decade.
Damn.
I didn't say shit to him. I sat down. And he cut my hair, and I got up. So he used to do it right around the corner from me. When he moved, it ended up being somewhat of a drive, but nothing too bad. From like here, it'd be like going to my parents' house.
It was still worth it.
But hell
to
yeah.
get your cut.
And it got a little bit more expensive, but it got to a nicer building. You know,
Right.
people, it was one of those places, like, it was a little hoity-toity. Like, you'd walk in and, hi, do you want a water? And it's like, no, oh, okay.
No.
So it's like one of those places, but Jimmy was there, you know? And again, there was something nice about sitting down, and it was just done. I had to move here. No, I had to. I chose to move here. I went to Wilkes University. So if you are familiar with the university down there and you walk down and you know where the bus station is, let's say you chose to cut through the bus station to that back street that's a one-way, Gabriel's Barbershop is there. Big shout out to Gabriel. Cool guy, great cut. And I got really fucking lucky because I transitioned from Jimmy to Gabriel really smoothly. And again, after a while, but now I live here. I'm trying to make this short, sorry. Anyway, I've been shopping around this area. So I went to one place, and this was now my second place. And I get there at like 1:09. I walk in, and it's just him, and he's cutting. Somebody goes, hi, do you have an appointment? I said, yeah, 1:15. And I look at my phone, so he knows that I know that it's in 6 minutes. And he says, I got to cut that guy out there, but it's just, he's just getting his head shaved. It'll be really quick. And I just kind of looked at him like, okay.
So
you've been there. How big is this place long-wise?
it's long. It's probably.
So if I were to sit in the back seat, would you say I'm more than 30 feet away from the front
Oh,
seat?
easy. Yeah.
So it's not too hot. It's not too cold. But I say, can I sit in here? And he goes, I'd prefer if you wait outside. Cool, bro. That's what's up right now because
Wow.
I understand. The place that I went to before this, literally right down the street, had me wait outside too. That's what's going on right now.
So wait, he was in there with somebody, and there was another person outside,
Waiting. And then now I was second outside waiting.
and you had 6 minutes until your appointment. Wow.
And maybe it's the square in me, but like appointment to me is a fucking appointment. That's why we make appointments. If not, I would have just shown up and been like, hi, can I be next
Yeah.
after the guy you're waiting on? Like, to continue, that guy comes in. So now I'm waiting outside, and some, in my opinion, derelict person, it was a homeless guy, if you ask me, opens his door and sticks his head in like, you got time for a cut? So he eventually gets that guy, and he comes and gets me. And he says, do you know what? You can wait inside. Just wait all the way at the back. All right, bro, that still makes sense. Like, now we're 30 feet apart. So, like, you're being nice and you're breaking the rules a little bit. So thank you. And time has passed and time's passed, and he's like, sorry. And I look at him and I shrug, like, it is what it is. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the thing that really fucking pisses me off, so now it's where we get into it. You know, it's not even about the bad cut. But the guy who shaved before, he was talking to the whole time while he was cutting him.
Right.
And then he takes me, and that guy doesn't leave. He sits 2 seats away. So he's like 4 feet away. So he had my ass sit all the way down there. But this guy's cool without a mask just to sit right here. And
Without a mask.
so what the fuck was me, A, not being allowed in to begin with, and B, having to sit the fuck all the way down there? When your boy is cool just to sit right on top of us and continue your conversation between us. And then the haircut kind of sucked, and he rushed through it because I think he picked up the attitude I gave him about starting late so he could still say, oh, it's blank 45, we're still done in time.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, because you fucking rushed through it because you're an asshole.
So
I just talked for so long there.
no,
I'm sorry,
no,
but
no,
I just wanted to
no,
make sure
no,
that
no, no.
everything was
Look,
clear.
we're gonna vent on this once in a while. It's cool. Were these white guys, black guys? Like, what was it? Did it seem like weird? Like,
It did.
because maybe they could have been talking some other shit that you needed to not be around for.
Oh, they had not one fuck to give. They had not one fuck to give what they were talking about, and I'm going to go ahead and say it right here because
talk to him.
if I
Tell
was
him.
a reporter, how do you know? Like you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
took no consideration to me sitting here, about how this barber's got mad money. He spent over $60,000 on a ring for this lady, and now they're getting divorced. She tried to write 3 checks. He was dealing with the bank. The bank was like, bro, we have to either set her up for fraud or you got to like shut the fuck up. What do you want to do? Like, we can't just cancel 3 checks for no good reason. Like, did you write these checks or not? And he's like, I was drunk when I signed them. I don't know anything. And like went into this whole big spiel about how she's not getting a goddamn dime. He wanted all his money taken out. She better just sell the car and keep the ring and just bounce up out of his life. And like, yeah, you know, tricks, girl. And like the other guy was just sitting there not adding anything to the conversation. In my opinion, he was a fucking dumbass who sat too goddamn close to me without a motherfucking mask on.
Right.
And he was allowed to because he was his boy.
Yeah, that ain't cool.
I do feel like
cool.
I was treated differently because I wasn't his friend. And I also think, too, what's this little guy going to do? He's the I do feel there was a little bit of that. So I won't be back to him. And at the very end, you know, I decided to go the opposite route of what I did with you, and I tipped him very well.
Did you?
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, cool. Like, did you take my card?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'm not coming back."
You didn't say that though.
Oh, yes, I did.
Did you really?
Hell yeah, I'm not going back there. Fuck that
You
guy.
told him that?
Yeah.
That's cold.
I tipped you well.
That's real and it's cold,
it's real,
Jack.
though, dude. Like, hopefully you sat there and thought about, No, but if I had to
Good
guess,
for you.
Once I left, it was all about what this square uppity little white guy, like, what's his problem? I gave him a cut.
See, you're not as square as you think, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's little tweaks about you that aren't. No, you're not square.
No, I could have gone to a Supercuts or even I've seen the motherfucking commercials, sports clips. I don't know if those are everywhere in everybody's neighborhood, but that commercial said for like $20, come in, we're going to put a hot towel on your face, we're going to cut your hair, and then we're going to wash your shit too. $20 because you're a first-time person here. And I was like,
cool.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I don't need to sit there with a hot towel. Why don't you just treat me like a fucking person?
Okay, so.
You know?
Just why I'm thinking about it, right? My boy Harley, who goes and gets his hair cut there, who has the same birthday as you, he's just a little older by 10 years, asked me today, while you were coming to get me, if he could be a special guest on our podcast, the first guest on our podcast. He wants to know if he could join in and watch a future movie and do the whole thing with us one time.
Yeah, for sure. I've always thought about having guests on here, and for sure.
Yeah, that'd be
so
cool.
I'm not gonna lie, Harley's white.
Yeah.
This whole time, I didn't think so.
White as can be, but he's not a square. Let's just say that. There's nothing square about Harley, you know.
Does he like superheroes? Like, does he know what's up with this? Or, like, is it going to be, no offense, like you, where I'm going to sit somebody down and they're going to be like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm happy to be here, but I have no idea what's going on.
Well, let's just get this out the way. Remember how I was talking about some people could have too much game for people or have way more game knowledge, a.k.a. knowledge. I don't think I'll ever meet anybody like you again in life that knows everything about these characters, superheroes, the directors, who played them, who played the different Batmans and all that stuff. So I don't think he is into it like you. He might be into it more than me, superhero-wise. But we'll see what happens, you know?
There's a lot of people. Well, no, there's not a lot of people to this, but I would guess there's more than one person who listens to this, and they're like, he's an idiot talking about me. Like, compared to what other people know, you know, like, yeah, I do know a lot about movies because movies was always my thing. But, like, with comics and stuff, like, I would say compared to other people, no, I can't go as deep. But thank you. I do appreciate that.
Well, I don't know how much more deeper it could get.
I mean, there's subplots of storylines of artists and writers and...
Because what don't you know? Comics. Like, what don't you know? Like, what...
Sir,
every movie you watch...
somebody what you don't know.
No, like, what... Like, come on, man. Every movie you watch...
Yeah,
you know the directors,
movies, right.
you know the side, the you know everybody in the movie, like you know the credits rolling, everybody in the credits, like you stay and watch the credits roll for that extra part, and I didn't even really realize there was extra parts in half of these movies at the end. What do you call them again?
Post-credit scenes. Well, usually there's a mid-credit scene and then a post-credit scene.
Okay, and I just started like really watching them to the very end. you know, because in a couple of them there were post-credit scenes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, again, that the superheroes started that. My first recollection of that happening eventually gets parodied in a superhero movie. We'll pause that. But it's Ferris Bueller.
Okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You remember that Matthew Broderick, John Hughes flick?
Yeah.
At the very end, the whole movie, the thing that it worked so well for, but the whole movie, Ferris Bueller breaks the fourth wall. He talks to the camera. There are times he stops and treats you, the audience, a.k.a. the camera, as a person. So at the very end, all the credits are done, and literally it's a shot at the end of the hall, and he sticks his head out the door, which is down the hall, and he goes, "You're still here. Go.
Right.
Go home."
Yeah.
And then he walks out, and they do the chicka-chicka one more time, and then it's actually over. Like I'm talking about now, Deadpool, we'll get to him eventually, shot for shot remakes that at the end, because Deadpool is a comic character who has always broken the fourth wall. So you'll be reading Deadpool, and he'll look at you, and he'll knock on the panel sometimes, like... So it made a lot of sense for them to parody that.
Okay.
We'll get into that with superheroes anyway. No, we talked about the barber. What else? Yeah, we got... How did we... Harley. Because Harley wants to join. Harley gets his hair cut. Boom. Hey, people, full circle. We just came around. That's how we got there.
I think it'll be cool that we try to have him for the Halloween episode, like a special, like... And we could all talk about the same barber that we all go to. not to bash the barber, but he's not going to watch this probably. Well, he may now, but who cares? Like, it is what it is. You got to treat people right across the board, no matter what they look like, the color of their skin, short, fat, skinny, tall. Don't matter, man.
At the end of the day, I won't say that I felt disrespected, because I don't, he wasn't mean about it, but I wasn't respected either.
No, you were. You were disrespected. He didn't respect you as a customer, and he didn't give you the same treatment he was giving the other guy, and that ain't cool. And I want to give a special shout out to anybody dealing with depression or have lost somebody from depression, because I feel like I got depressed for like 3 days after I went in the hospital with coronavirus a couple years ago. Not this coronavirus, just a different blah, blah, blah. And my lungs and my heart, blah, blah, blah. I went to a doctor's one day, and I saw like 80-year-olds in there and 90-year-olds in there with the same type of stuff. And I was like, wow, like, damn, like, my shit's fucked up. So I went home, and then for like 4 days, bro, I barely came out the room, man. Just stayed in my bedroom, just, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like it was over, like I was done in like a year or so, you know what I mean? So that, I feel like, just had me down and out, I don't know if it was depression or what, or I was just down on myself or what, but, you go on YouTube or you listen to people, some of your friends even, you listen to them talk and it's not, sometimes you see them out and, you see them at the store or whatever, and they're smiling in your face and stuff, but really behind the curtain, they're really, really hurting, and nobody sees them when they're home and by themselves or home in their room or on the couch and they're going through some shit, you know what I mean? So big up to all those people, and I hope you could, get better and just stay focused and don't worry about the haters. Fuck how it turns out, and just keep it cool. You know what I mean? Yeah.
To add on to our T-shirt line, "Fuck how it comes out" is definitely going to go on there. Same shout out, same thing, and same offer as last time.
Yeah.
budsbrosuperheroes@gmail.com. You need to talk to somebody?
Holler at us.
Obviously, yeah. We can't hear enough of our own voices.
Nope.
Especially me. I just talk all day, Jack. I'm not even tired. Usually I get tired of talking. No, not even.
Usually I'm high as fuck right now and during these podcasts, and I'm like, cool, I'm not high. I'm turning over a new leaf, people. I'm not going to get as high. I'm not going to smoke 4 or 5 joints before or during each podcast anymore. So, but as soon as this is over, it's on, Jack.
With that, we could talk about some superheroes now.
Yes, let's get into it.
Still going to look for some dedication music, because I like that you dedicate the episodes every time. Want to find its own little niche for that. But into the superheroes, we watched Justice League War, if you've been keeping up with us this whole time. Last week, Big wanted to watch a animated one because I said how much I love all the animated ones. We didn't know exactly which one we were going to pick. I was going through all of them, and then I chose to stick with my gut and have the first one be Justice League War because, again, I love it. I popped it in. I watched the whole thing again myself, brought out the book. I have it here. The New 52 Justice League origin story, written by Mr. Jeff Johns. Got some artwork by Jim Lee, Scott Williams. New York Times bestseller, apparently. If you're not familiar, when we say the New 52, it was when DC tried to not reinvent themselves, but bring birth to a new universe of the same characters, almost like let's restart, let's
Right.
show the origins of everybody all over again and make sure that it's all set in real time and everything. So as you could tell from the cover here and from the movie, some really interesting character design changes. In my opinion, the biggest comes with Diana, Wonder Woman. She looks very different. Best relaunch look is from Superman. I don't know why him with a fucking collar on makes me like go, huh, how cool is that? And then if you ever look at his palms, or not his palms, the backhand of his palms, it's a little triangle, like the S kind of comes out. Really like that. Green Lantern basically looks the same, so does Batman. As I'm looking at this cover, we can see Aquaman, but go ahead and tell them the big thing about Justice League War.
The big thing. Okay, so this comic we're looking at has Aquaman on the cover, and he's in the whole thing, but the animated movie, he's not in it. And I don't understand why. Maybe you could explain it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I have the Blu-ray, and I was watching it. Both Jay Oliva and I didn't say Olivia. Shout out Daniel. Jay Oliva and Jim Lee sit down and talk about it. So Jim Lee drew that. Jay Oliva directed the movie, and they save him for his own movie to get his own introduction.
So the movie has Captain Marvel instead, and
Yes.
It's cool. I mean, actually, the other day when I was watching it for the first time, I told Slick Nick, I said, I don't like this, bro. We got to switch it. I was like, let's just switch it. Like, let's just never do, like, animated again. But then I watched it 2 more times, and I won't lie, I did like it. You know?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I did like it. But the first day, I just had too many interruptions going on at the house. People were stopping by and stuff, and I had to keep rewinding it, and it was just going too fast while I'm trying to deal with other people. So I got to watch it twice, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
It's very fast-paced.
Really fast, but it was cool.
And my wife also pointed out, like, if you're not, I would say I'm not even knee-deep. I'm neck-deep in this stuff. And you have to be knee-deep to kind of keep up. So watching it a second or third time was a very good idea. And thanks for doing that to keep up with it, because I would like to get more animated. DC books, I've always been a DC fiend. In terms of buying books, they're my favorite. In terms of animated, they're my favorite. And I really do believe, again, because I do like the motion media, to me, it's everything I want. Like, it's perfect.
And right now you're wearing a Batman sweatshirt, right? Batman was friggin' miserable in this movie. He's like Debbie Downer, rah, rah, the fun police. He's just down and rah. I can't fucking stand Batman. Like, I want to. And in the movie, Superman was giving him the business.
Don't you love Superman in this universe?
Bro, he was bodying everybody, bro. He was nice with it, but Batman's just whack, man.
One of the lines they took right out of it. They took many. If you read this and you go through the movie and you highlight every word said in this book compared to in the movie, a very good amount is taken from it. So I thank them for that because I like faithful adaptations. And one of my favorite one is Superman's first line, if not very close to it. No, because in the comics, it's I don't handle. And in the movie, I think it's, so what do you do? Okay. And I'm just like, that's fucking gangster, man. Just like, I don't care what you do because I'm going to fuck with you. And yeah, Batman has nothing. It's his first time in this universe. So let's talk of like, that's a moratorium. Everything we talk about from now on is in this universe for this episode. So I don't have to keep saying it. This is the first time Batman's ever met Superman. He said that he had a tracker on him. He knew that he had a satellite following his motions, but they had never been face to face. And the climax of it, in my opinion, one of the coolest things too, is like Batman's like, "You bruise, but you never kill." Isn't that right, Clark?
Yeah. And he's like, "How'd you know?"
And he just stops. And that's Batman, bro. That's Batman. I don't need to swing a punch to stop you. You're going to stop because I want you to stop now. And he did. Like, that's fucking
He's just
Batman.
fucking miserable,
He
though,
is.
bro. Like, how do you have sex with your girl miserable in 24
doesn't.
hours a day? Yeah, get upstairs. Yeah, take them off.
It's all
Yeah.
about the
Bend
mission.
over.
It's all
I'm
about
done.
the mission.
Grr. Like, what? Dude, take a little bit of ecstasy or some Molly, something. Like, that character, like Superman, is fucking miserable. And I can't wait till we do watch the Superman versus Batman flick. Whenever we do that.
You just said
future.
Superman was miserable. Did you mean
I mean Batman's
Okay.
miserable. I'm sorry,
No,
people.
no. I'm just making sure that they knew what page you were on.
So I want to see them fight each other in that movie. I never really watched it. I tried to and fell asleep because I can't watch movies at night.
Yeah, dude, he's all about the mission. That is the Batman. He was a child, and he watched his parents get shot in front of him.
You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna turn me out.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
He's been trying to get me to like Batman since we started talking about this stuff.
You didn't think it was gangster, though, so they're down in the sewers, and by this day, I mean Green Lantern and Batman. And that he just slips his ring off.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of his. I'm just talking about his personality, really.
Okay.
And he's just miserable all the time.
Yeah, totally.
And I just like, dude, it's like these gangsters on the street. Like, cut the fucking shit out. You're not gangster all the time. You're not gangster when you go home to your mom. And
Why is it not gangster to smile?
Like, yeah, like what?
Maybe
I
that's
don't
why
know.
I'm square too. I smile and I wave.
I smile, you know what I mean? I did a lot of gangster shit in my time, but I smiled doing it. You know, I'm just a happy type of dude. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, Batman's
like these thugs on the street, never smiling, always trying to play tough guy. And
You don't think that he's also kind of got to be a little bit of a hard-ass tough guy to stand with these people?
no, if you're a superhero, you shouldn't. I mean, you're right there with them. You know, it's like you make the NBA. You're not going to just not ever talk to reporters. You're going to and just walk into the locker room after every game. Like, you're going to have some kind of personality and like blah, blah, blah. This dude's like miserable.
But at the beginning, like, he hadn't met them yet. So, you know, even Hal gives him a little bit of you're not just a crazy guy dressed up in a batsuit running around, are you? It's like, is that really what you think of me? Let me touch that ring really quick. You're not going to do that again unless I want to. Like, no, you're not going to punk me out either, man. I'm
like, he's even cutting people off when they're talking and shit. Like, no, dude. Superman should have just fucked him up. They didn't need him. But that's just me.
He did pretty well, but
you're never going to turn
Superman,
me out to like
who
him.
saved Superman in the end?
I like Robin more than Batman.
Oh, me too. That's why I've always been a Dick Grayson fan. Amen. But who saves Superman in the end?
He does. He helps him. He helps him. He gets him out of there, but still.
You got to give props to the game, though. He's a fucking beast of a hero without having powers.
Yeah, but, you know.
He's a dick about it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're fine with that.
I don't like dickhead superheroes. And your boy, Batman.
He's a bit of a dick.
He's a bit
he
of a
gets the
dick.
job done better than anybody else. Maybe not the Flash. I don't know, but see, like, his attention to detail is just too good. And sometimes that gets him in trouble. All the pre-planning, all of the pre-planning. You know, if you read Tower of Babel, or if we watch Justice League Doom, which is kind of a loose interpretation.
Maybe, I mean, it's your pick on it's your pick. So look, I'm going to give you a chance on this iPad to pick one of the best Batman movies that I might enjoy. And I will give it a true chance.
Going Dark Knight, then.
There it is.
Skip the origin story, because I know you don't really fuck with that. Or should we, people? I don't know. I mean,
I'll leave it up to you. Whatever one you
movie, you can definitely watch it without watching Batman Begins.
Because you're trying hard to turn me out with
mean.
Batman. So whatever, like, I don't, I'm not gonna go into it like, oh, this fucking Batman movie I gotta watch. No, I'm gonna watch it like all the other ones and give it a real chance and watch it again before I come back and do the podcast. I'm not just gonna watch it once. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be smart, yeah. Because Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, it's like a 1-2 punch. So the Batman Begins, like sometimes you could just catch somebody with a good right hook. So let's just skip to the 2, and hopefully you like it so much that you want to say, yo, Slick, I want to see his origin. How did he get there? because it is different and the same of every other Batman. You know, they're all different in the same story of like
Right.
you're definitely seeing Martha and Thomas Wayne get shot. Period. It doesn't matter what fucking Batman origin story you're watching, unless it's Flashpoint. See, you can't always speak always because there's just so much with
But
comics.
don't give me any spoilers.
I'm not trying to get anything crazy. Anyway, so for Batman, yeah, we will do that. How did you feel about, you hinted before, the Aquaman, Shazam, aka Captain Marvel, switch?
I didn't like it. I'd rather the original. You got to understand, I'm from the old school back when Legion of Doom was around, and he was part of Legion
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
right? And he was part of the Legion of Doom, right? Wasn't he? Or
Legion of Doom was the bad guys.
Or
This was
not-
the Justice
not-
Friends.
Justice-
So the Justice
yeah,
League
wasn't
are the
he one
Super
of-
Friends?
what? Right.
Aquaman, hell yeah.
So, like, I remember him being with those other superheroes and having his own little cartoon too. Didn't Aquaman have his own little
Funimation probably made something.
something like that? But yeah, I just think if it's if it's this, everybody on this cover, that's what it should always be. You know what I mean? It's like, would you substitute Superman? You know what I mean? Like, would you substitute Green Lantern? No. So I don't know.
I think the reason that was given that they did it was to give us, along with Cyborg, more of a outsider perspective.
Okay.
But I thought Cyborg did that enough, you know, because he was not a superhero at the beginning of this movie. They go through his entire
Right.
origin. So I kind of like that. I don't think Billy was needed so much for that angle when Cyborg did it so well. But it did kind of give a young kid angle, which sometimes you need to interject to make sure that you can actually hit a full spectrum of ages, you know? Because having a young kid who turns into a superhero as big and as strong as Superman is an obvious fucking grab for kids. Like it's a fucking good one, you know? That's why I liked him as a kid too, because I don't have to wait. I don't have to grow up into him. I can just say Shazam, boom,
Right.
fucking
right.
ready to go. Now, would it be a consolation if I said one of the other reasons that Aquaman isn't in it? Because the next time this team forms and hangs out and we see them together in the animated universe is for his own solo film. It's like
Okay,
60% Aquaman, and then he meets the League, and this is where we go.
Okay.
Any consolation? Would it make you feel bad? Like, yeah, you're right. He gets left out of this first story, but that's because his second story is all about him.
Yeah, I can understand. You know.
It's got one of my favorite Aquaman parts almost ever. He's talking drunkenly to a lobster in a tank. Spoiler, sorry. But somebody wants to then eat that fucking lobster, and he goes, hold on. We're talking. I say spoilers a lot, sorry.
I was just telling you. You wanted to watch a movie the other day together. I was like, no, dude, you say spoiler too much. I can't do that. Yeah, you do. Every episode, it's funny.
Imagine being my wife.
It's normal, though.
She can't watch one full episode of anything without me pausing and going, so listen, I'm surprised she hasn't
See?
fucking killed me. Because we've only been married for a little bit now, living together full time for a little bit now, and yeah, I'm still breathing. It's amazing. Because one day I'm just going to pause it, and all of a sudden, just sharp pain in my leg, and she stabbed me with a pencil or whatever she had close, and like, just play one thing all the way through, Nick.
And big up to everybody on TikTok. I'm invading TikTok, Jack.
Go ahead and talk about that. What is that? What?
It's just you can like I act stupid a lot, bro. And it's to me, there's a little bit of seriousness that goes on with, you know, people, whatever. But it's just like a platform to act dumb on and act stupid and laugh and have a good time, you know. So
You
that's
are
what
that guy.
I'm gonna
It's
have
one
a
of
good
my favorite
time.
parts about you.
Thanks. you
Always
know?
having a good time. Always trying to, you know. Going back to it, and why not?
Why not?
You know, you're going to be here anyway.
What
You're
am I
be
gonna
standing
say?
on the street. Fuck how it turns out.
Fuck how it turns out, man. Why not? Just be happy. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you know what I mean? As long as you're not hurting anybody or disrespecting anybody or, you know, other than that, shit.
Before we head out of here, I got to know how you felt about the villain of this story, Darkseid, because he's a big part. Like, it's the Snyder cut come to life almost for this one. Like, he's going to be a big part of the new upcoming one. So, want to test the waters now how you felt about him in this form.
Well, shit, he was, I mean, it took all of them, you know, like, what are they going to do one on one? If it was just one of them, he's just wrecking them, bro. Like, he, you know, He was too much of a force for just one of them individually, or even just two of them. To me, they needed all of them, like especially Cyborg. Yeah, that's right. Yes, like they needed him to with the portal or whatever you call them. So like, if he wasn't there, would they have made him get back in that thing? Like, were they strong enough to make him go through the portal? You know, I don't think so. Without him, you know, they were all getting pretty much manhandled throughout. You know, until the very end. It wasn't like something was working from the middle. Like at the end is when they all came together. Even Batman's bitch ass. I know you hate that, bro.
I do, but I kind of like it too. My favorite part about this is, and they discuss it again in the Blu-ray about why Jim Lee went this way, is his size. Because for the most part, as far as I know, like he's been humanoid. You know, where he might be a tall dude, he might be a big dude, but like you would never look at the size of this and this person and be like, that's just a big person. Like he is a giant.
Yeah.
And I like that about it. You know, he could fit a full Justice League member in one hand. When he's fucking up Wonder Woman at that one point, like,
oh, when he started, look, she should have died. When he started smashing her, bang, bang, boom, bang, bang, like she should have died, bro. She should be dead right now. Like she should have died.
She's Wonder Woman.
He should have smashed. He was so strong. He like her head should have just friggin' just encaved. Like it should have just blew up. Like bang, bang. You know what I mean?
It's that Amazon in her though. No, that's not gonna happen. And then too, he broke the shit out of Green Lantern's arm.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like how he was able to switch hands with the ring. I thought that was a cool. I don't know. I always wondered if it mattered what hand that he wore it on. I like that.
It's always the left, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I like
I'm getting better, people. I'm getting better, baby.
His own cast out of it and shit. Like that was pretty cool. Like out of the Green Lantern stuff. Anyway,
right.
Back to Darkseid though. He was I like how it took two of them, 2 times of the team coming at him to get it done. You know, it wasn't just like, hey, I'm Darkseid. Hey, we're the Justice League. Boom, 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 we win.
No.
It was like, no, you know, they had to go and regroup and reform, and Batman had to go and find Superman, and at the very end, they all came back together with a plan, and he's fucking formidable. And for their first time out, that's a good reason to get the Justice League together. Not for no bitch-ass Steppenwolf and some Justice League bullshit. We need that Snyder cut. If we want the Justice League to form cinematically, bring us Darkseid.
So one thing I want to say real quick, right? In our podcast before this, a few of them, I talked about how I don't like military in the movies with the superheroes. But if you think about it, most of them are alien-ish or aliens, right? And in real life, the government would have control over these superheroes or have them on their team as a super quiet, super down low, like person to help with the military. So like I got over that part. You know, I feel like in real life they would have something to do with the military if they're going around saving like nuclear plants or whatever the case, you know what I mean? Terrorists or whatever, they'd be part of it. So I'm over that part.
Yeah,
so,
there would definitely have to be some cooperation.
Yeah, so I'm
of
more
some sort.
Yeah, so I'm more acceptive on the movies with the military in it. Just wanted to say that. I don't know why, but yeah.
It's a good point.
You know?
And that is something we didn't really see too much in here. You know, a few fighter planes got blown up, but it wasn't too much.
No, not at all. But it was a good movie. I didn't like it the first day I watched it because, like I said, I watched it in parts. And I didn't get to sit down and watch it straight through. And once I did, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I don't mind it.
Did you stay for the post-credit scene?
Remind me what it would have been. Just remind me.
In the ocean. It sets up
when the kid comes back? No, that's the end. No, I'm probably not, no.
So Orm, who we will find out is Aquaman's half-brother, is, it's led to believe that the battle that the Justice League just had fucked the ocean. And it was the last straw for Orm to be like, you know, he comes up out of the sea and there's literally dead sea animals, sea life everywhere.
So even in cartoon animated movies, there's post-screen...
post-credit scenes.
Post-credits.
Sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. But
Well, I'll
sometimes.
just stick through it, man. Every single one, no matter what we watch, I just make sure it's at the very, very end.
Funny.
You know?
Yeah. So, like I said, that leads us into the next one. It's called The Throne of Atlantis. That's not what we're watching next, but I don't even think that's next in this universe, but the next time they put Justice League on a title.
Right.
Because your boy, Batman, takes up a lot of the animated universe because he is the most popular. So he's got a lot of his own stuff going in and out of there. I'm not 100% sure of the timeline off the top of my head, but I know that, we get Damian Wayne thrown in the mix. He's got to fight him. The Court of Owls comes up. There's other Justice League, Teen Titans stuff. Like, I'll get the list so we know.
Okay.
But for sure, the next time the Justice League form in this universe, we get a little bit of Arthur Curry and Aquaman action. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's a lot like the movie that we watched with Jason Momoa, but there are certain
Right.
takes about it that are like, I'm like, it's an Aquaman origin story. Like I said, if we're going to watch an Aquaman origin story, like a Batman story, you're going to see his parents get shot. In an Aquaman one, he's going to be a guy who's like, I don't know if I belong on this land or the sea.
Right.
It's like, that's what you do. With that, though, we're going to wrap up. If you like this superhero one, like I said, dude, I can't see you not liking the movie The Dark Knight. Go ahead and
I'm
hit us
gonna
up
give
on
it a
social
chance.
media and tell me what the chances are that he doesn't like The Dark Knight.
And I'm not going to just not like it because I don't really dig Batman. I'm a Superman fan, but, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to pay close attention. Hopefully it'll come out good. If not, I'm going to keep it dead real like I do every single week.
Now with this one, and I understand life happens, but you said you didn't get through this first of the Justice League because you had people popping in and out and stuff happening. Try to, for your first time, try to make it through as much as you can. Pretend it's like a movie theater. Like if you get up and leave, like no pause and no rewind, like try to sit down and fucking watch it.
Well, I found out that watching movies on the weekend is a little tougher than the weekdays.
I feel you. Like I said, I know life happens, and I know it is a tall order. I'm not saying that lightly. Like, come on, sir, just sit down and watch it all at once. It's so easy. I understand. I'm not trying to.
Oh yeah, no.
Just because this one,
but like
I need this one, man. You need to like this movie. I gotta have to like it.
Don't worry. I'm gonna even watch it twice. Like I'm gonna watch it twice. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure I watch it twice. And I'm not like bouncing around or rewinding parts. Remember you called me yesterday and you're like, wait, I'm way ahead of you. I was like, dude, I had to rewind it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? At least I'm keeping it real. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna watch Batman and I'm gonna make sure I watch it and not just kind of sometime yet, because I don't like Batman. I'm gonna watch that shit straight through twice.
Awesome.
Got you.
All right, great. With that, I have been Nick James.
And this is Big Body Biggz, the can-out motherfucking pimp.
We are Buds, Bros, and Superheroes, and we're going to get up on out of here.
Rah.